are conflicting viewpoints and critiques over the woman's actions, as well as the officer's use of deadly force. Investigative reporter Bennett Haberly joins us now with a look at this new video. Bennett.
Yeah, Marion, we're going to play this clip for you in its entirety, noting that we have bleeped out the audio for expletives that happened both during this encounter and after the ICE officer, Jonathan Ross, fires what turned out to be those deadly shots.
I'm not mad at you. Show your face. I'm not mad at you. It's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
Whoa!
The video shows how quickly this encounter escalated. There are roughly 3 seconds between when 37-year-old Renee Good is commanded to get out of her car and when she appears to move forward and shots are fired. White House officials, including Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and Vice President J.D. Vance, have defended the officer's actions and criticized Good's behavior. But the shooting prompted demonstrations across the country, with protesters criticizing the use of deadly force by ICE. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and the mayor of Minneapolis have criticized ICE tactics in carrying out immigration enforcement in their state, and they expressed concern today that local and state law enforcement agencies are being unnecessarily excluded from this investigation.
And how they stood up for what is supposed to be America and freedom. And freedom is not arresting people without warrants. We have a system here. It's called a Constitution. And we have a party, the Republicans, who don't seem to want to abide by the Constitution. January 6th is a prime example of that. And now they're all free and they're in charge. You know what? Maybe it's time for Jesse. I only did 1 term. I'm owed a second. We have leadership now that has destroyed the Constitution. They don't follow it. They could care less about it. Am I right or wrong? I took an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I view after January 6th, the Republican Party as a domestic enemy to our Constitution.
And you obviously saw the video that the student shot outside here, and that obviously elicited a lot of emotions for you. Just watching
What do you mean the student shot
There were some
outside?
students that shot the video of the chaos here yesterday.
No, I didn't even see it.
Oh, you didn't see it? Okay, I thought you did.
See it.
Okay. Okay.
The only thing I've seen is the murder.
So talk about, you were a student here. When did you graduate? In
1969. This is a place of learning. And you learn things like the Constitution. You learn about warrants. You learn about things of that nature. And what we're getting right now is violating all that, what kids are being taught. You want to know something? I'll give you a quote. We're a third world country now. You want to know why? I'm an expert. I've been to them. I spent 17 months in Southeast Asia while the draft dodger was playing golf, right? You know how I know we're a third world country? Because in third world countries, they have the military doing their police work in the cities when you walk around. I was in the Philippines the day Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law and went under dictatorship. We went from nobody to a guy with a machine gun on every corner. That's what happens in a dictatorship.
Sergeant, we're taking Cadillac Heights. I'll need 50 of your men armed and in full body armor in 1 hour. Mr. Johnson, you can tell the CEO that demolition crews will have total access at 0600 hours tomorrow morning.
Hey, we don't do that kind of work.
That was a direct order, Sergeant.
Driving people out of their homes is no work for a cop.
No, Sergeant. 15 years on the force is quite an investment. Your job, your pension. Maybe instead of worrying about these squatter people, you might think about your own family.
I'm thinking I have to go home and face them.
You can't do this. Look, you are employees of OCP. Now remember that. You're jeopardizing your retirement benefits.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rucha HaKodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to the other elders and brethren, you fellow believers of this truth. Shalom to you, brothers and sisters, supporters of this truth. Shalom to the elect. Peace to the elect. So anyway, I was inspired. Met a cop that I speak to on and off, and he tells me things. We was working out, and he said ICE came to him. Like, he tells me the ins and outs, the little secrets, crazy things that go on. But he was saying that the ICE came to him and wanted him to pursue a few vehicles, and he said, that's not in my jurisdiction, I'm not doing it. So they had like a back and forth about that. And ultimately, you know, when martial law is pretty much martial law, these people crying about their constitution. When you're dealing with war-like law, there's no constitution. You have no rights. And this brings me to those women who sat there, and you know, they seems like they have alternative lifestyles, if I could say that, where they are manly. See, they thought they can keep the womanly appearance and nobody would mess with them, but then they can turn on the manly feminism when they need to. Now, that worked amongst all men and like civilians. That worked with the average guy, because the average man, you can't do nothing to them. But when you talk about ICE and even some police, they ain't playing that. So you're getting a glimpse of how these women, even with these alternative lifestyles, is actually absolutely going to have to flip back when Jacob's Trouble, which we're pretty much in that department. You know what I'm saying? And this is why that brought me to that, when he told me that, this is why I put this clip in here, like 1990s with RoboCop. The world police took over the cops. When this man said, I need you to do such and such, he had the authority to do that over regular police. So these ICE agents are nothing more but martial law soldiers, right? Anyway, Romans 13:1. It says, let every soul be subject to the higher power, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power resisteth the ordinance of God. And they that resist shall receive themselves damnation or swift destruction. And that's what happened. He told her to get out the car. She said something about her tags. But see, what media does, like when that guy attacked us from Pastor Anthony Mitchell Church, one of his followers played gospel music and literally came and attacked us, and we twisted him up and held him down till the police came. Only thing the viewers saw, like when they re-uploaded it, they just saw the situation taking place. Nobody never looks at the beginning of what actually happened. And this is exactly why everybody was going crazy over the woman getting shot. According to the law, if the vehicle is used in a pursuit, and you're in the way, right? If the vehicle is pursuing and you're in the way, your life is in danger, according to even the police department, and you're allowed to take action. Now, me personally, there's other ways they could have handled that. They could have apparently the car wasn't going to run that person over. They could have moved out the way and shot the tire. I don't know. But these cops, by the time ICE comes into play, they're martial law type soldiers. So their mindset is, I'm just killing. Anybody don't comply, I'm going to kill. This is how they roll. And this is what Trump is set it up. So this man, Jesse, who, if I haven't said it before, he's a governor, right? So he witnessed, as you saw in the intro, whenever you see military police in the streets, that's a third world country. And it makes sense. Because I talked to the Jake today about that. That's the police. He said, yeah, man, this is a third world country. And he's from, I can't remember, he's a Jake. He's from one of them parts of Africa near the west, maybe Nigeria. And he said he sees a lot of insight. He knows a lot of insight and things that's going down. You know what I'm saying? So by the training and the test and various things, you can pretty much, these people, a lot of them know. I remember I got pulled over by police, and he said that's why he became a police, so he can have the drop. Anyway, let's go over here to Amos 3. Then we're going to go to Ezra's. Amos 3:6, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it? Yeah, so this is going to start turning up things like when you go to the book of Job 20. Let me get that real quick. This is going to start turning up things, and then you're going to start seeing the prophecies which are already started. And what we're looking for is the RFID, that reset, because all this is all part of it. You know what I'm saying? This is all part of it. As they're trying to scramble with the economy. Everything's going up. They put more money in the military. So, the Lord is putting a spirit on them to ramp things up. So this is all part of it. And, this is going to be an excuse to crash the dollar, right? Because of funding. You see what they do now? They do they're trying to get everybody in student loan debt. Everything is debt. Anyway, it says here, Job 20:19, because he have oppressed and have forsaken the poor, because he have violently taken away house and house which he builded not. Right? Yeah, all this he's taken people when you go to Habakkuk 2, he's taken people cultures, nations. It's not just us, but you when you look at the scattered tribes that is amongst all these nations, this man went around the world and took everything, because Job 9:24 says the earth is given to him because he's the wicked. Surely he should not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desire. There shall come of his meat, there shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In his fullness is his sufficiency, he shall be in straits, troubled. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Like all these nations going to come upon Esau, man. Nations, kingdoms, people. When you look at nations, it goes to the peoples. The peoples in America, the insurrections, and even the other countries. They're going to come against America as well. This is where you go to Revelation 18, how much he have glorified ourselves, right? When he is about to fill his belly, God shall cast the fury of wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he's eating. When you go to Jeremiah 16, when they go to those bunkers, because they know what's up. As I said in the last video, they have something called the cabal. what they would call the Kahan or whatever. And what they'll do is they'll tell them when it's time. So you know, the Lord is letting them believe they have a certain amount of power of their own destiny, because the Lord can just take it all away from them, right? But those top elites, they're going to know certain things, right? Because they believe they're the ones that's getting rid of Babylon anyway. It's really the NWO. So they understand it's going to go up in smoke, but they feel that they're going to rise up out of the ashes, right? And start a new breed and a new race of people, or keep their race, and everybody else would just be slaves. Anyway, watch that movie. I can't remember the name of the movie, but they gave them pills to keep their emotions in check. It's with Christian Bale. I can't remember the name at the moment. It escapes me. Begin for E. Equilibrium. So let's go to Esdras real quick. It says, Esdras 15, 2nd Esdras 15 and 8. I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither I will suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Because the innocent and the righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. This is why now we are able to stand on street corners, starting in the late 60s. We're able to stand on a street corner and bring out the truth. And there's nothing they can do about it because of so-called constitutional rights. Anyway, I'm going to jump on down. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. Yeah, a lot of them are going to line up and take the chip. That's what that's going into. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them are going to line up. There's going to be no food. You know, there's going to be troubled times. And where you may be able to bear it to some degree, but these people are so accustomed to a lifestyle, they're spoiled. So it'll be easy for them to line up and take that chip. A lot of you family, a lot of you brothers and sisters got family members, well, they're going to line up and take it. Right? I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and I will destroy the land thereof. Right? Egypt shall mourn, and the foundations of it shall be smitten with the plague and the punishment that God shall bring upon it. You're going to ultimately have famines, right? Plagues, you know, nuclear destruction. Let me go on down. Here we go. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seeds shall fail through the blasting of the hail and with the fearful constellations. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. The sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. That just means a weapon. So it could be a spear, a knife, a gun, you know, a shovel. I had a dream. There was a Jake, I'm not going to say his name. He was once in our camp. That in the middle of it, he pulled out a rifle and came to my house and said, "Kick out the food." He said, "You know what time it is." And then he saluted me with a shalom. Yeah, this is how serious it's going to get. For there shall be sedition. We got to look. Let me look up sedition. There shall be sedition among men, which means a separation. Let's see, a sedition, a rebellion, uprising, a revolt. This brings us to Matthew when it says earthquakes in diverse places, meaning troubles, turmoils, right? Tumults, Talmuds, if you want to call it that, in diverse places. Violent strife between factions, civil or religious order, riot, rebellious against authority, right? So, as I said in Job 20, people are going to stop believing in this system, and Trump is the one to do it. I heard a lot of people say, we're in trouble now. Trump is in office. He was getting in there anyway. Okay. A man shall desire to go into the city and shall not be able. This is all in the movies with OCP. RoboCop. Look at the RoboCops. They were telling you 30, 40 years ago, 30-something years ago, what was coming. Because of their pride, cities shall be troubled, right? The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. This is going into men and women and children. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. This is what the dream I had. But shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So these are all the things that are coming. And then ultimately, well, the first is the mark, the crash of the dollar. That's when the trouble begins, right? It's already begun, but that's when everything starts manifesting. Because then people are going to want a solution. And then people are going to bug the hell out. They're going to go crazy. And they're going to come with a red alert. We got something that can fix everything. A new currency. And that's what it'll be. And these people are so tired of being hungry and they want things just to go back to normal. It's called normalcy bias. This is exactly why they want to spoil you. Every year there's new cars being made, giving you new things, hooking you up. The women can get hair and they can go to vending machines and get nails. I mean, they're just making things. Phones are just everywhere. Cell phones with a loan, you can have bad credit and still pay on a car. You can get rent. You can get food. There's food spots it's like 10 to 15 food spots around me. No wonder everybody's so over goddamn weight. But it's the mindset is to spoil you. When you're spoiled, this comes, and then come chaos, and out of chaos comes order. You know what I'm saying? Behold, saith God, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reference me, the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter, the valley of Yahweh's judgment, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Lebanus, and turn themselves against one another, and repay the things which they have done to them, like as they do yet this day unto my chosen. So will I do also, and recompense in their own bosom, thus saith the Lord God. So yeah, it's interesting to see what else is going to go down. You know, it's interesting to see. We can see this going to get a whole lot worse. You know, especially in these sensitive times with financial situations. As I was talking to different people in certain positions, the finances is affecting them. And I believe Apostle Tahar did a video, if I'm not mistaken, on doctors leaving. Yeah, that's true. There's nurses quitting. That's true. It's going to be hard to get a doctor, so you better get with your herbs. Anyway, that's all I have on that. Shalom.